What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Eddie Hearn, Deontay Wilder, and Anthony Joshua. Eddie Hearn states the Wilder fight realistically is not going to happen until March or April. Promoter Eddie Hearn maintains that Anthony Joshua will likely have two fights in the next 6 months or so. In a recent interview, Matchroom had suggested that the former heavyweight titleist from London could return to the ring by December or January against unnamed opponent. Hearn also sounded optimistic that Joshua could potentially fight Deontay Wilder next spring as late as April. He said he wants to. He really wants to, Hearn said of Joshua in an interview with IFL TV. We've been on calls with him all week. There's a lot happening with the IBF situation. We'll have to see. I think he's going to fight in December or January. I think the Wilder fight realistically is not going to happen until March or April at the latest. But he wants to fight. He wants to go back to camp and ask us to try to make him a fight for December. Whether that spills into January, we will see. Let me counterpunch. I listen to people's wording. He really wants to fight. We've been on the phone with him all week. What's the thing? There's a lot happening with the IBF situation. And then realistically, it's not going to happen until March or April. Okay, well, what guarantee do we have that it's going to happen? And what did you really say to convince us that fight happens in March or April? What is that? See, if he fights in January, it will be more like April if he does fight Deontay Wilder. But then why are you keep mentioning the IBF? You know why Eddie's doing that? Eddie has a great way with words. What Eddie does is, Eddie says, well, hey, that fight won't happen realistically until March or April. The Wilder fight, the fight we want to see, the fight we've waited 5 fucking years to see. And actually, it's going on 6 because that's 18 to year 2024. That's 6 years now, okay? So, based on how he's wording that, he's like, well, there's a lot going on in the IBF, though. See, he just didn't say though. But then that's what he was really implying, people. That, hey, we got to see what happens on the IBF. So if the IBF rules in his favor, there won't be a Wilder fight. And I think he should just say that instead of trying to make people think about what he's saying, instead of just telling us, frank. Look, frankly, this is how it's going to go. If the IBF, we're going to go for the third shot for the title. We're not going to take on Wilder. But he doesn't really want to say we're not going to take on Wilder, because the moment he says that shit, people are going to say, you're ducking. Eddie, you're ducking, or you're asking Anthony to duck, or you're both some ducks. Quack, 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 quack. How to say it? Duckaroni. Right? That's what it is. Seriously. That's all that shit means. That's all it means. And him saying, but he really wants to fight. We've been on the phone with him all week, but he didn't say, I really want to fight Wilder. See, emphasis, Wilder. See, it says here, this is what it says, quote, he says, we've been on the calls with him all week. I think the Wilder fight realistically is not going to happen. He wants to go back to camp, and he asked us to try to make him a fight for December, whether that spills into January. But did he say, I really want to fight Wilder? No, he didn't. See, and that's why people are digging all in their ass right now, because of shit like this, wording like this. Oh, well, see, you throw that, oh, he won't fight Wilder until March or April as bait, okay? As a bargaining tool, as a marketing tool, knowing that shit's not true. Because what they're really focused on, they're focused on Filip Hrgovic. Filip Hrgovic is co-promoted by Eddie Hearn. Therefore, that's an easier fight to make. You don't have to deal with Al Heyman. You don't have to deal with PBC. You don't have to deal with Paramount Plus, whatever their involvement is. You don't have to deal with any of that shit. And you don't have to deal with possibly getting knocked the fuck out by somebody like Deontay Wilder. Because if that fight happens and AJ loses, there won't be any other IBF opportunity for him at all, because Wilder will trump all of that with one thump. Bars. That's the problem. And Eddie knows that shit. He knows, well, this motherfucker can punch, and if he hits Anthony Joshua, it'll fuck everything up for me with this cash cow, and AJ's a lot more profitable fighting guys that I want him to fight versus guys that I don't. Okay? But he really wants to fight. You see what I'm saying? So, no, that's that. Him saying, oh, that fight realistically won't happen till April or March. How about that fight won't realistically happen at all if you get the IBF to sway your way? But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Eddie Hearn stating that realistically, that Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua fight won't happen till March or April or never. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!